What should we do if they ask us for money too? I attended a family meeting with the parents of my fiancé, who holds an executive position at an IT company. There, I was met with cold words and they opposed our marriage. I lost my parents when I was a child, and my brother Elwin raised me with all his might. Hearing harsh words about my brother, I was deeply shocked. Just because I don't have parents, they assume it's not a decent family environment. If it's a marriage opposed by the parents, I can't go through with it. We can't see each other anymore. Even my fiancé, whom I trusted, easily abandoned me. I was plunged into the depths of despair. But what do you mean by this? My fiancé's family ended up facing terrible consequences. I am Emmeline. My mom had been battling illness before I was born. After giving birth, her condition worsened and she passed away when I was a first grader. Even in her bedridden state, the warmth of mom hugging me while saying, "Emmeline," is unforgettable, even now as an adult. During my elementary school years, my dad, though clumsy, raised me. He even tried hard to make lunch boxes for me to take to school. "Dad, what's this?" "Scrambled eggs. Don't they look tasty this time?" "They're incredibly salty." Startled, Dad tasted the scrambled eggs and choked on their saltiness. He had confused salt with sugar. That was the kind of dad he was. Apologizing, he tried to finish eating it, looking both unreliable yet amusing. There were times I wished for more attention, but then my much older brother would play with me, even tired after his club activities. "Emmeline, try the scrambled egg." What he offered was fluffy and appetizing scrambled eggs. My brother, who had been practicing beside our clumsy dad, quickly improved his cooking and household skills, acquiring basic life skills within a year. In absence of mom, my clumsy dad provided laughter, and my hard-working brother gave me a sense of security. However, Dad also passed away in a car accident during a business trip in my 6th grade winter. I had just started learning household chores, wanting to repay Dad for everything by the time I became an adult. Our normal life shattered in an instant. "Christmas, we're going on a family trip." "Lucky, my mom and dad are working, so I'll be home alone." "That's awful. They should be with you on Christmas." Hearing my classmates' conversation made my heart ache. Even such conversations were impossible for me. Even if they were working, other kids' parents would come home. I couldn't look forward to trips or wait for someone's return. The only family photo we had was taken a few days after I was born. I cried every night, overwhelmed by a sadness too big for an elementary school student. "It's okay to cry all you want when you feel like it," my brother would say, hugging me. He never showed me a sad face, but I once heard him sobbing in the living room at night. He was a 12th grader then, probably suffering too, but he always smiled in front of me and patted my head. While increasing his part-time work days, he took care of household chores like cooking and laundry. "Emmeline, dinner's ready. Let's eat." He always made sure I never had to eat alone at our 4-person table. In middle school, I sometimes found his behavior a bit annoying, but remembering him crying secretly, I couldn't bring myself to rebel. After graduating high school, he found a job and supported me. I tried to reduce his burden by eagerly doing what household chores I could. Though we lost our parents, my brother's care filled the void, and I gradually stopped feeling lonely. Having worked hard on household chores since childhood, I easily adapted to living independently when I started working. All thanks to my brother, who taught me everything step by step. I worked hard at my job to make my brother proud. Thanks to that, I achieved good results and earned praise from my supervisor. One day, I heard about a cross-industry networking event. My supervisor suggested I attend as a company representative.
Getting various experiences while you're young is good. It will surely help you in the future. I have high expectations for you, Emmeline.
Encouraged by his words, I happily decided to participate. Big brother, I've been chosen as the representative for the next networking event. I always reported my work achievements to my brother immediately. Then, my brother would always praise me.
That's amazing! You're always working hard. But don't overdo it, okay?
After praising me, he would always send a message concerned about my health, which made me happy and was the reason I always kept in touch. Nice to meet you. I look forward to working with you today.
Nice to meet you too. I'm looking forward to today as well.
At the cross-industry networking event, I met a man named Kennard. While I worked in the apparel industry, he worked in IT.
People in the apparel industry are always so stylish. I'm pretty indifferent to that stuff.
Not at all. You look quite fashionable yourself. That jacket suits you very well.
Huh? I'm glad to hear that. I put extra effort into dressing up for today's event.
Our meeting was a unique encounter at the networking event, and we quickly developed a close rapport. After the event, we met several times and eventually started dating, drawn to each other's personalities. Kennard worked for one of the most famous and thriving companies in town, and his dad was an executive there, making them very wealthy. I was worried he'd be shocked by my vastly different upbringing, but when I told him my parents had passed away, he accepted it without any change.
You have a tough time since you were young. Thank you for sharing that with me.
His words were as kind, as warm as the ones my brother gave me when our dad died, soothing my heart. On our days off, we watch movies at each other's houses, cook meals, and go on picnics, enjoying both indoor and outdoor activities together. Kennard was the first man besides my brother with whom I could spend time laughing.
Will you marry me?
On our way back from a Christmas dinner, in front of the Christmas lights, Kennard proposed to me. My Christmases, which had felt paused since 6th grade, suddenly transformed into something vibrant. Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
I promise to make you happy.
As Kennard said this, he hugged me with such joy. It was a moment when I truly felt the joy of happiness in Kennard's arms. Brother, there's something I want to talk to you about. Since my brother was busy with work, we mostly communicated through emails and calls, but I felt this news was something to share in person, so I invited him over.
It's been a while. What's up? It's my first time being formally invited, so I'm a bit nervous.
My brother, who came to my house, seemed a bit different than usual. I was nervous, but he seemed even more so. Yeah, actually, I'm going to marry Kennard, whom I've been dating. My brother looked surprised, an expression I'd never seen before, and suddenly started crying. Oh, brother, what's wrong?
No, it's just my little Emmeline getting married. I'm so happy. Congratulations. Truly, congratulations.
Although I had heard my brother cry when Dad died, it was the first time I saw him cry.
You must be happy, okay?
Wiping his tears. My brother's words resonated deeply, overlapping with Kennard's. When the date for our family meeting with Kennard's parents was set, my heart became restless. How should I talk to his parents? It had been over a decade since I last spoke to my own parents, so speaking with his made me even more nervous. I received lots of advice from friends and seniors at work, dressed in a slightly formal dress, and visited Kennard's family home. Kennard's parents initially seemed very strict, and honestly, I was a bit scared. But thanks to Kennard speaking highly of me, that impression quickly changed. Nice to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to meet today. I'm Emmeline. I look forward to working with you. Nice to meet you. Oh, you're very beautiful. I was so nervous during the greeting that my facial muscles seemed to stop working. But Kennard's mother received me warmly.
Kenneth will be entrusted with important positions in the company from now on. Please support him by his side.
Kennard, looking quite embarrassed, but seeing him expectedly by his parents was impressive and enviable.
So, what are Emmeline's parents like?
During a pleasant conversation, Kennard's father asked the most nerve-wracking question. I couldn't lie, so I told him everything truthfully. Mom passed away from illness when I was in first grade, and Dad died in an accident 5 years later. I heard Mom loved to draw. Kennard's parents looked at each other in shock. How did you manage to live after that? I have an older brother. He started working right after high school graduation and raised me. I owe my ability to do household chores to him. I always knew how grateful I was to my brother, but putting it into words made me realize how great he truly was. But that moment of sentiment was short-lived.
What? You live with just your brother? Forgive my bluntness, but wasn't it a poor life?
I was taken aback by their reaction. At the mention of poor made me feel the difference in our upbringings. Yes, I live with my brother. It might not have been luxurious, but he worked hard to provide a stable home so I wouldn't feel deprived. I could easily sense the friendly atmosphere from Kennard's parents had faded. Living with just a brother without an adult's guidance? I can't imagine it was a proper environment. When my brother and I were left alone, many adults offered help.
It's kind of you to say, but we need to become independent as soon as possible. So we did everything we could on our own.
My brother refused their offers and chose a tough path. I was a bit angry to hear their judgment of his decision, but I tried to stay calm, considering they were Kennard's parents. Yet, they continued with their harsh words.
Did you really live like that? Or did you get money from adults around you?
Right, there's no way you could live on the money earned right after high school. What if they ask us for money too? It was hard to listen silently to such terrible accusations. I looked at Kennard for help, but he was completely crestfallen.
I'm sorry, but a girl from such a poor background is not suitable for a Kennard. We can't approve of this marriage.
Kennard is a promising young man with a future. Don't hold him back. I could tolerate their insults against me, but it was unbearable to hear them dismiss the hard work and dedication of my brother, who had tirelessly supported their family. I noticed Kennard finally lifted his head.
Emmeline, I'm sorry. I can't marry someone my parents oppose.
His words of promising happiness seemed meaningless, and I was stunned.
Why you're still here? Leave now.
Kennard grabbed my arm and forcibly led me to the entrance.
We can't see each other anymore.
The door closed. Standing under the cold sky, I looked down at the belongings dumped at the doorstep. What is happiness, really? Muttering this, I called my brother on the way home. Brother, the wedding is off.
I'll hear the details later. For now, come to my place, okay?
Being alone felt frightening, like everything Dad and my brother had protected was collapsing. When I arrived at my brother's house, sandwiches and scrambled eggs he hurriedly made were laid out on the table.
Let's eat first.
It had been a while since I ate my brother's cooking. It was warm, and tears naturally fell. After calming down, I told him about the incident at Kennard's house. My brother showed an anger I had never seen before.
I need to make a phone call. Relax for a while, Emmeline.
He briskly took his mobile phone and disappeared into another room. Drinking the warm tea he offered, I felt at ease and eventually fell asleep on the sofa. What's this? So heavy. When I woke up, a large blanket was heaped upon me. My brother must have covered me with blankets so I wouldn't catch a cold. Even so, this is too much. I smiled, but soon sleepiness overtook me again, and I slept till morning. For a while, I commuted from my brother's house. It took quite some time, but driving a different car than usual felt refreshing. When I returned home, I cooked dinner with my brother. Sharing a meal with him after so long felt nostalgic, and his kindness seemed to heal the wounds inflicted by Kennard's family. Today's meal was delicious too. I was content with a delicious meal when my mobile phone rang. It was Kennard. I initially ignored it, wondering what he wanted now, but he kept calling persistently, so I answered. What do you want? Calling so many times? What is it now?
It's not what. My dad and I have been transferred to a subsidiary in the countryside. What's going on?
Honestly, I didn't understand what he meant. Transferred? Why are you asking me that? My brother signaled me to let him talk. I switched the phone to speaker mode and put it on the table. Then my brother spoke calmly.
I've taken over the call. This is Emily's brother. To put it simply, I've informed your company's president that our company is terminating its partnership with yours. What? What do you mean? Do I need to simplify it further? Our company is providing $1 million in financial aid and had a technical partnership with your company. We are ending that.
My brother, who had worked tirelessly since high school graduation, had put effort into corporate know-how and networking. He co-founded a company and now manages it, which has grown to operate both domestically and internationally. The call was handed over to Kennard's father.
What does ending the partnership have to do with us being transferred?
It has everything to do with. I told them we won't deal with a company that looks down on people for being raised by a sibling and deems it an improper environment. My brother spoke calmly, but his calmness bore a quiet anger.
I'm sorry for what I said. Won't you give Kennard and me another chance? Emmeline, I'm really sorry, please.
They must have been on speaker too. Both apologized in turns, and I could hear them sobbing, but I felt nothing. It seemed like they were only apologizing because they were worried about their situation, and a wound once inflicted doesn't heal with an apology. It was too late for apologies. My brother looked at me. Seeing my refusal, he returned to his usual kind smile.
Without considering Emmeline's feelings? What are you talking about? There's nothing more to discuss. And we won't be meeting again. Goodbye.
My brother.
Wait a minute!
The call was cut as they tried to say something more.
It's necessary to cut off bad relationships.
Later, through my brother, I heard that Kennard's family had sold their house and disappeared. Maybe they thought they could escape to where my brother couldn't reach them, or to a place where their bad reputation hadn't spread. I didn't know. My brother's company operates everywhere, so no matter where they run, it's the same.
In the end, they're just running from reality. Running won't change anything.
Hearing this from my brother, who didn't run from our tough situation and aim for independence, made his words resonate. My brother looked radiant. Thank you, brother.
It's only natural to protect family. Oh, want dessert?
Yes.
All right, wait a moment. I'll prepare it.
As I got up to follow my brother to the kitchen, I silently spoke to myself. I will definitely grasp happiness for myself.
Huh? Did you say something?
No, nothing. I'll help you, so let's eat soon. I got up to follow my brother. Brother, one day, I will become strong and kind like you. So then, you can rely on me completely. Cry when you want to. I resolved to become a sister my brother can lean on, setting this as my goal for life.